If you've been Googling business ideas for beginners or scrolling through endless lists of 101 ways to make money online, or worse yet, you're trauma dumping onto ChatGPT, hoping for a miracle, I need you to stop right now. Right now! Put your little fingers down! Because here's the truth. You don't need 300 different business ideas. You need your unique business idea, the one that fits your skills, your life, and your actual personality. And today, I'm going to show you exactly how to find it using a 3-step framework that takes everything you already know, all the expertise that you think doesn't count, and turns it into a business opportunity that people will actually pay you for. Ready? So here's what happened to me. I've started somewhere around 14 different business ideas. Yeah, seriously, I lost count. Not from a place of creating my own job security, but I've always felt the need to matter, to make a difference. I don't care if it comes from entrepreneurship or climbing the corporate ladder. Over the years, I've tried every single hot trend from back in the day, selling on eBay, to building automations, to AI, to even writing steamy romance novels. Yes, I've done it all. The problem was, the more things that I tried, the more confused I got. The only thing that really ever felt secure was my 9-to-5 in marketing. Until it wasn't. After I got laid off on Valentine's Day 2025, I did what everyone else does. I thought, oh fuck, what now? Then a few weeks later, my husband got laid off and I really panicked. In between our job searching, we tried even more business ideas. Then one day, I just completely hit a wall. I remember standing in my bathroom, completely ugly crying, with that familiar feeling of wanting to run away. Like physically, I just had to get away. It's this bodily sensation that I get when I'm freaking out, and I think it's a leftover sensation problem from trauma, as a trauma response from when I was a kid. But when I have this feeling, that's when I know it is bad. So I started my usual coping mechanism, journaling. And some Ben and Jerry's helped along the way too. But that's when the pieces started really tumbling together for me. I'd spent so much time in my career watching companies waste tons of money on campaigns that failed because they didn't understand the basic customer journey. They didn't know who they were talking to or why they were talking to them. I was constantly frustrated by businesses that had great products. I've even worked for some, but terrible strategy. And when I got laid off, I finally stopped and asked myself, what if the thing that frustrates me most is actually the thing that other people desperately need solved? That question, it completely changed everything for me, because my business idea, it wasn't hiding in some listicle. It was buried in my own lived experience. And yours is too. Today, I'm going to show you the exact 3-step process that I use to uncover my business idea and how you can use it to find yours. If you're here for that, give this video a like so that more exhausted corporate moms can finally have a little bit of hope. All right, here's what we're going to do today. Today, we're going to walk through 3 steps to help you identify your business idea. Not someone else's idea, not some trending idea, your unique idea. And I need you to understand something that's really important before we start. You already have the expertise that you need to start a business. You do, I promise. You just don't recognize it as valuable yet. So let's change that. Your job today is to start seeing what you've been overlooking because it is there, I promise. All right, deal? Okay, step number 1, mine your frustrations. This first step is to identify your frustration patterns. And I know this sounds weird, but stay with me. Your biggest frustrations often point to your biggest business opportunities. And here's why. When something frustrates you consistently, it usually means 2 things. First, you can see a solution that other people can't quite see yet. Your frustration exists because you know that there has got to be a better way, and it drives you crazy that other people don't see it, that they're not doing it that way. And the second, you're not the only one who has that frustration. If it bothers you, it most likely is bothering other people too. And those people, they're your potential clients. Let me give you an example. So I was constantly frustrated watching businesses spend thousands on marketing without understanding their customer journey. The customer journey is the basic one piece. You get that and you've got content, you've got marketing, it's done. So I'd seen companies launch products with no clear path from stranger on the internet to a paying customer. And it made me want to shake them and scream, "You're leaving so much money on the table." And that frustration, that has led me to help women build businesses that honor their values while generating real revenue. My frustration was someone else's pain point. And my insight into solving it became my service. Here's what I want you to ask yourself. What do I find myself constantly complaining about at work? What processes or systems make me think there has to be a better way to do this? What mistakes do I watch people make repeatedly that I know how to fix? What frustrates me so much that I find myself giving away free advice because I just can't stand to watch people struggle? I want you to write down 5 things that consistently frustrate you. They can be from work, from your personal life, from watching other people navigate challenges, anywhere. Then each frustration, ask yourself, do I have insight into solving this that most people don't? Your unique selling proposition. If the answer is yes, then you've just identified a potential business opportunity. Congratulations! Your frustration is actually data. It's telling you where you have the knowledge that other people need. Okay, the next step, number 2, is recognizing your invisible expertise. And this is where most people really get stuck in what I call the expertise proximity problem. But most other people call it imposter syndrome. Here's what happens. When you're deep into a topic, everything feels obvious to you. You forget what seems basic to you is actually revolutionary to someone who is just starting. So you discount your knowledge because you're surrounded by other knowledgeable people. Thus, your baseline, it shifts. You see the gaps in your knowledge instead of the foundation that you've built. But here's the truth. Your ideal client isn't the expert that you are comparing yourself to. Your ideal client is actually your former self at the very beginning. So think back to when you first encountered that problem or the topic. What did you desperately need to know? What would have saved you months of confusion and costly mistakes? That gap between where you were and where you are now, that's your business. You don't need to know everything. You just need to know more than that person, just one or two steps ahead. So they only need to be a couple of steps behind you. You don't have to know everything. Here's how to identify your invisible expertise. What do colleagues specifically want you involved in on projects? What do friends and family text you about when they need advice? What topics do people bring up at parties because they know that you'll have some insight? What compliments do you receive so often that you've started just really brushing them off? For me, people were constantly asking me to wordsmith their communication or help them think through their marketing strategy. And I would think, well, doesn't everyone know how to do this? I don't get it. But the fact that people kept asking me specifically, that was my evidence of expertise. I wasn't recognizing it though. Here's an exercise that will change how you see yourself. I want you to ask 5 people these 2 questions. What would you say I'm naturally good at? What do you come to me for? And write down their answers without judgment. Don't argue with them. Don't explain why you're not good. None of that. I just want you to listen and jot down, because what feels effortless to you is often extremely valuable to someone else. Your invisible expertise is only invisible to you. Everyone else can see it plain as day. Okay, now we're on to the 3rd step. And the easiest and probably, I would say, the most revealing. I want you to pay attention to what you can't scroll past. Your social media behavior reveals your genuine interests better than any conscious reflection ever will. The powers that be, they've got those algorithms tuned in, y'all, like tuned in. It knows you better than you know yourself. Here's what I mean. You're scrolling through Instagram and LinkedIn, okay? And 90% of those posts, you just keep going, right? But then something stops. You read it, you save it. Maybe you screenshot it, maybe you share it, maybe you write a long comment because you've got thoughts, and I'm talking thoughts. That's not random. That is your passion showing up in your engagement patterns. The posts that you can't scroll past without engaging, those actually reveal topics that you should be talking about in your business. I see a post of someone launching a business with no clear strategy, and I would be in the comments before I even realized what I was doing, and I would be offering advice. That wasn't just casual interest. That was my zone of genius trying to yell at me to get my attention. Okay, so here's your assignment. For the next 3 days, I want you to really pay attention to your scroll. Which posts make you stop immediately? What content do you save to reference later? Which topics do you want to jump in the comments and just start going to town? What do you screenshot and send to friends? Even the funny things count. Which discussions make you think, finally, someone gets it? Or, even worse, this is so fucking wrong. Write down those patterns. Look for the themes, because your passionate responses indicate topics where you have deep knowledge, you have strong opinions, you have a natural teaching ability that you want to share with other people. Okay, here's where it all comes together. When you combine your frustrations, your invisible expertise, and your scrolling patterns, you start to see a beautiful intersection right in the center. And this is where your business idea lives. It's not some random opportunity on some random listicle. It's the natural combination of the problems that you see solutions for, your frustrations, your skills that you've already developed, your invisible expertise, and the topics that you're genuinely passionate about, which is your scroll pattern. This is how you find a business idea that won't burn you out because it's actually yours. You're excited to get up every day and to work on it. I want to tell you something that I wish someone would have told me when I was drowning in those 101 business ideas. The reason that you haven't found your business idea yet is because you haven't looked inside. It's not that you haven't looked hard enough. It's that you've been looking in all the wrong places. You've been looking for external validation everywhere else from someone else to tell you what to do, the business to start. For a list that somehow gives you the perfect opportunity with your name on it. But your business idea, it isn't out there. It's in here. It's not starting from zero. You're starting from years of lived experience that someone else actually needs. The question isn't, what business should I start? The real question is, which problem do I already know how to solve that people would actually pay me to help them with? There you go. And now you have the framework to answer that question. And if you need a little bit more help, check out my 2-hour corporate exit Launchpad in the description. And remember that someday is an actual date. YouTube thinks you'll like this next video.